Welcome back to the channel, everyone, but more importantly, welcome to my first Payday 3 video. It's a really surreal feeling even just saying that, but after nearly 10 years, we're here with the first gameplay trailer. Now, you won't be getting my live reaction to the viewing of this trailer. I woke up right when the Xbox showcase was already underway and tuned in to see if I potentially missed anything, and sure enough, less than like a minute later or so, the Payday 3 trailer starts to play. The trailer is absolutely action-packed, but was only about a minute and a half long, so there was so many things happening so fast, and you're likely to miss a few things, and that's what I want to point out in the video today. And I'm going to be jumping around a lot at different points in the trailer. We're just going over the topics that my Discord server and I went over together, starting with all new mechanics not seen in Payday before. So starting off, we see a security camera. Hoxton starts to pull out a smartphone that can either hack or even overloads the security camera that makes it violently explode and shoot out chain lightning that completely wrecks the security guard underneath, also hitting those two civs, and Dallas, being the absolute Chad, is completely unfazed by. It would be really cool for these cell phones that we see pop up a couple times be replacing the ECM jammers for possible stealth in the game. I think it'd be really cool to have still your deployables for like medicine or ammunition while still being able to stealth like anybody else. Then if the heist does go loud, you still are prepared for it and it doesn't make you want to restart the heist right away. We don't get to really see anything on the interface other than a simple push of the button, camera explodes, so not too much to go off here, but still cool nonetheless. Next up, something absolutely crazy to see. Hoxton moves this guard and uses him like a human shield and then tosses him aside to the first responders. Now this may be a new way to move hostages, but one thing I want to bring up is something on the game's Steam page. Quote, whether you let the hostages go or use them as pawns. Reading this and seeing Hoxton release a guard and even a civilian still cable-tied being let out of the bank right when the heist starts makes me think that there's more to civilians in-game than a simple way to just release your teammates from custody. Now, I have nothing to back this up, but what if by releasing the hostages to the police when the heist begins, you give yourself more time before the SWAT teams arrive? You could be letting the hostages go one by one, while someone is in the back doing objectives, getting you closer into the vault before the shooting starts. And the trade-off being that now that you let all the civilians go right at the beginning, if you do end up in custody, you have nothing to fall back on and you're going to be stuck in jail. Again, this is just speculation, but it's something to think about, and it's a very cool mechanic to see little teases of. Next mechanic, the stun. It looks like that we can be stunned in more ways than just flashbangs now. It's very hard to tell here because it happens so fast, but I think this is a new special enemy that on death triggers an explosive. Now, this special enemy seems to be a SWAT unit that specializes in tear gas grenades, I think. We can see what looks like a hallway full of gas when we see Wolf firing a pistol earlier, and even a little bit later in the trailer, I think it's the same unit Chains deals with on this roof. Notice the red shoulder and knee pads here. Also, with the two units of SWAT here on the roof, the one on the right bearing these red shoulder pads and knee pads can be seen from the back, and it looks like more gas is up on the roof right here. My last piece to kind of hammer it all in is a bit of a clear shot of this unit here, and what is he doing? Lobbing this gas grenade towards Hoxton. Now, in the sunlight here, you can see a sort of bomb vest on them, it looks like, and I believe by shooting the vest causes them to explode, thus causing this stun animation for Wolf. Now, it looks like you can still kind of shoot with this stun animation, but obviously I don't think you'd be able to ADS or, accuracy decreases is what I would assume would be going on. And as the stun transition plays out, the same animation switches from Wolf in a stairwell to Dallas up on the roof. Now with Dallas, I don't see an explosion happening with the stun, but what's that right in front of him? That's right, the shield enemies. Perhaps now we have shields bashing the player if they get too close, thus proccing the stun effect on us, leaving us open to enemy fire. Now, it wouldn't be a movement mechanic upgrade if we didn't add in a slide. I feel like a lot of FPSs are adding slides to crouching from a sprint, and it's cool to see Chains using it to offset the special unit I was mentioning earlier. Perhaps it can be a skill upgrade that we can slide into special units like shields to knock them back as well. And with the sliding, I'm hoping that the maps and heists are actually made with this in mind, like being able to slide underneath like a desk really quickly in stealth to get out of the way of an oncoming guard. Speaking of sliding in special units, check this out. Yep, that is a taser. And what does Wolf do here? Sliding in close, and it looks like by shooting this pack on the taser's hip, it causes a massive AoE tasing effect to explode out of the taser. It really looks like precision is well rewarded with dealing with all the special units in the game so far. As you can see, the shields seem to have a small viewing window that with enough concentrated fire, you can break through and then shoot through, hitting the shield on the other end. Cloakers are of course making a return. Very cool to see them wall running again. These guys are going to be so annoying. I cannot wait for that. We can also see a few points that the snipers will be making a return, and we can see one perched up on a building that Hawk shoots down with a grenade launcher, and one you might have witnessed on another building when Chains was dealing with this bulldozer, but again, it was very quick. Also, the bulldozer. They somehow managed to really invoke fear into me with this guy. The animations on this auto shotgun just feel so visceral. Seeing this huge motherfucker just start charging at the crew like a rhino to presumably knock you on your ass would just put the fear of God into me if I was playing on high difficulties. This is crazy looking. This next one here is one of my favorite things I noticed from when I first watched the trailer. It is such a blink and you'll miss it moment. Tasers electrocuting you will have a visible wire from the prong leading back to the taser stunning you. It doesn't look like there's any more guesswork, and I love that. In fact, it seems like tasers are going to be a slightly bigger threat to you now, since it looks like your gun may be facing up in the air rather than forward and shooting the taser that's stunning you. So rather than, a potential kill happening here, tasers are keeping you in place, making you take enemy fire, and now just completely wasting your ammo as well. I'm not sure if this is going to be how it is on launch, but it might require a teammate now to save you from a taser's clutches if you don't have a necessary skill. Next up is the medic bag being able to be actually just thrown out rather than, and I'm going to be stealing this quote from Noli's video that I watched. It was too funny. Lay it by your feet like you're birthing an egg. That is the best way you could actually describe how we deploy things in Payday 2 right now. We have some mantling and vaulting, which is going to be absolutely killer for movement and the flow of combat. Plus, I really love the animations for sprinting here. They show how it really makes it look like the heisters are in a hurry to give it their all and escape, versus our current animations for Payday 2, which kind of just speed you up rather than make you look like you're actually sprinting. Now, one thing on my mind is that we still don't have a confirmed contractor for the game running us through the plans of the heist, like how Bane and Locke do. And this next bit got me thinking. Dallas pulls out a phone here that gives him a check mark. Now, so far, the trailer plays out just like the heist would. We show up, take out the cams, mask up, deal with the hostages, fight a bit, use the thermal paste to melt through the floor, get the cash, fight your way out, run like hell. But then, you need to escape. My theory is that there are multiple ways to escape a heist, and Dallas pulling out his phone is him summoning this helicopter in the next shot to a specific location on the map to escape. Now, just a few moments later, we do see what looks like it could be the escape van with an escape zone next to it, but we could be seeing two variants on how to escape the heist. This got me thinking that if Bane or Locke isn't summoning a rescue for the crew, then the crew will have to get them themselves, right? That's something that's really cool, and I hope it actually plays out that way. Next thing to talk about is firearms that are being used in the trailer. The first usable one we come across is Wolf holding to what appears to be a customized with even a custom skin or paint job with a Glock pistol or a Shimano, if we're assuming that we're going to be using the same names from the previous game. He's then seen using a P226 or a SIG-40 with a suppressor to mow through these handful of SWAT in a hallway. After that concussion stun grenade effect goes off and the model switches to Dallas. Dallas was using an MP7 or Spec Ops SMG. We cut to Hoxton up here on the roof, using what looks like a modified AK-47 or the AK-762. Chains on a stairwell here with a double-barrel shotgun or Moscone shotgun. This cut of Dallas in the hallway could be an AK rifle, but honestly, more than likely, I think is just the base version of the AK-762. And in just a few more frames, we see the exact same rifle with a new scope mounted on it. Now, we only get a few frames of this, but here's Hoxton jumping down the melted floor into presumably the bank vault, wielding an M4 or Car 4, with the absolute goated specular sight making its return. We love to see it. Next up, we have another SMG that looks to resemble a sort of Uzi variant. Very fun. We fast forward a bit to Hawks holding an M32, or the Piglet grenade launcher, and man, explosives look so fun in this game already. Finally, only just as a dozer is on his way to ram into Chains, we see him holding a Scar or Eagle heavy rifle with a cool thumb over the top of the rifle animation, similar to what you'd see in the newer Modern Warfare games. And while not seen in the genuine gameplay segments, I wanted to bring to your attention the beginning pre-planning section here. What looks to be like a locomotive shotgun and then some throwing knives stuck on the table as well, so hopefully those will make a return. And as you can see, it already looks like we have a little bit of weapon variety when it comes to our choices. I'm sure this isn't all the vanilla weapons in the game. By my count, the trailer shows us 2 pistols, 2 SMGs, 3 assault rifles, a shotgun, and 1 special or grenade launcher, depending on if they're going to categorize them differently in Payday 3. Last 2 things I want to point out about this trailer that I noticed. It looks like the effect of Bulletstorm is coming back because everyone noticed right away this double barrel shotgun is shooting 3 times. Some things never change, I guess. And one thing that I'm not sure how to feel about, these green canisters that are all over the floor appear to be the ammo pickups from Dead Cops. They're much bigger than they are in Payday 2. I don't really like the shade of green they use. I think it kind of blends in with the environment just a little bit. They're also physics-based, which is what's kind of crazy. This explosion that happens makes them go flying everywhere, so it's going to be a little bit harder to pick up ammo if you're using a grenade launcher, I guess. Whew, okay, like I said, there is so much to go over in just like these 90 seconds. Now, the game is set to release on September 21st. I am pretty hyped for this game. Pre-ordering the silver and gold edition of this game will get you cosmetics, 3-day early access, and either a 6-month or full year season pass. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. On the one hand, I'm glad just to have a season pass rather than buying a DLC pack about every 6 weeks. But this season pass only mentions 4 heists in a 1-year span, which means that we need to have plenty of heists in the base game to support this. I hope the heists are on a much larger scale, and even some free heists from events and holidays like the good old days make a return. Now, while recording this video, the Payday 3 FAQ was updated. Now, I was a big advocate for saying that we shouldn't have any additional heisters come back, just keep the original 4 and have them interact with each other more, just like in Payday the Heist. But this Steam FAQ does show that we are going to be getting 2 additional heisters, that their identities are also going to be revealed later. I'm really hoping that one of them is going to be Houston. I know not a lot of people liked him in Payday 2. He's my favorite. I really want to have him back. But still, I would rather have a smaller crew with more interactions with each other rather than a huge gang. There was a leak, of course, of Payday credits and microtransactions coming into the game, but they address it right away here. Question, will Payday 3 have microtransactions? Yes, you can buy Payday credits separately. However, these are only for purchasing additional cosmetic items. This will not affect the gameplay. The Payday credits will be added post-launch. That's a big claim, okay? It's good news, but please just keep it like this. Do not go back on your word a couple years down the line. Keep the microtransactions out of the gameplay. We don't want them to affect gameplay at all. So this is good news. I think I can speak for everybody when we say that we don't want any more microtransactions that affect the gameplay. Now, I'm sure we're going to be having, these DLC packs with weapon packs that are going to make things, a little, well, it's too early to say. We can't necessarily say pay to win, but if we go off the past 10 years as a track record, then we can kind of assume that, yeah, there's going to be some guns that come out that are going to be absolutely freaking nuts that just outshine the vanilla guns, right? But I could be wrong. Maybe they are going to be changing it up this time. I didn't really get to talk about it, but the community isn't the happiest right now. When it comes to Payday 2, after the last update, that was 2.37, we need to fix Payday. Leave it in the best possible state, and then take the best parts of its content release lifespan and improve upon it into Payday 3. Not a lot of people trust Starbreeze right now, and it's totally understandable. My honest opinion is that I'm hopeful, and I like to believe that everything's going to work out, and we're going to have a fantastic time playing Payday 3, but we have to just wait and see. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up the first Payday 3 video on the channel. Now, I do still have a few video ideas drafted up for Payday 2 to tide us over for these last 3 months. You can expect those hopefully soon. I want to shout out the boys to my Discord server that discussed this trailer with me right after it launched. Link is below. Join it yourself. Do yourself a favor. I want to thank all you so much for watching. Here's hoping this Payday 3 video is the first of many to come. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.